Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It is time for my weekly motovlog tonight. We're on the VMAX. It's after 9 o'clock. I've had a late night at work. 12 hours today on the road. I'm going home to hopefully find that I still have a chicken pot pie in the fridge that I can make in the microwave. Gear-wise, we're riding with the Sedici gloves, mesh jacket, helmet, you know, pants. Yes, some of y'all have noticed I wear a motorcycle cut vest for my motorcycle club. I will, if I'm on a bike, I'm wearing that cut. You know, if y'all have questions about motorcycle club stuff, I'll do my best to answer them. I'll answer broad stuff. You know, the one I can knock in the butt real quick is no, it is not like Sons of Anarchy. You know, that was a TV show. They took some things and embellished it quite a bit. So, but man, has it been a rough few days. Really, it's been a rough few months. But I mean, what do you do, right? Cry about it? Nah, can't do that. You just take that knee for a standing 9 count, get back up, get back at it. But as some of y'all saw, the Hummer had a catastrophic failure in the water pump, which took out the water pump, the cooling fan, the radiator. God, what else did it take out? It took out the belt, tore bolts out of the timing front end of the engine, which I think is a timing case. If not, it tore bolts out of the engine. Basically, it's a mess. And I was already having some low compression in the number 5 cylinder, so that truck will sit sorry, that truck will sit until I can put a whole new engine in it. Luckily, I have my 4x4 Ranger that needs work as well, but it's still drivable. So if it does snow and I need something 4-wheel drive for work, I got that option. But really, the next project at the house is going to be getting my Ford Focus going. And then after that, I got to get a roof put on the house. And then after that, I got a 2-wheel drive Ranger to work on. And once all of that's done, if I have time, we'll work on getting the lift kit put on the 4x4 and fixing a whole bunch of suspension stuff on it. But basically, I'm booked for the foreseeable future with car projects. I've also managed to lose the keys to the KLR, or the key. I only had one. I thought I had a spare. I did not. I will take this moment to send out a PSA. If you have a Kawasaki, they cannot cut you a key from the VIN code, at least not on my KLR 650, the Gen 2. You need a specific key code that is on the bottom of the ignition lock where you can't see it. You have to take a drill. You have to take either the top triple tree piece off or somehow get there where you can drill out the safety locks that they put on there that snap the head off. Pull that off, and then there's a sticker there that may or may not be there. On my bike, as old as it is, there's a chance that that sticker fell off. Some people get lucky. It's on the helmet lock. Mine, no such luck. However, I did find the tag, the key tag that the dealership had from where I bought it from used. And it has the key code on there, so I will be able to get a key made if it doesn't turn up here soon. I am going to tear the Hummer apart here in the next couple of days because I really need that KLR going again, considering that I'm, you know, stuck on bikes right now for my main mode of transportation outside of work. And the VMAX doesn't have bags The Harley is loaned out to some friends. I should get that back by this weekend, hopefully. And yeah, so again, I just keep dealing with stuff as it comes. And that's why I'm so good at doing so much stuff. People, a lot of my friends are like, oh, you'll be fine. We're never worried about you. Guys, if you have a buddy or a friend that you never have to worry about, who is always able to fix everything and do everything and climb under stuff and just make things happen, nobody got that way because they had an easy life. You know, they've had a lot of shit go wrong to be able to handle what they handle. That saying's right, man. The burdens, they don't get lighter. You just get stronger. So, and I'm sorry I'm like this today. I'm sorry I'm not my usual cheery self. I'm sorry that, you know, I'm this way. But, but guys, you know, I want y'all to see I'm a regular person. I'm a real person. I have problems just like everybody else. I'm not. You know, life's not super easy or perfect. I don't make money off these videos yet. I'm going to keep doing them. One day, hopefully. But, you know, I make a mental decision to stay positive. There's too much negative in the world for me to be negative. But man, sometimes it's hard to make that decision. Sometimes life just keeps throwing things at you. And you know what? I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not so much as what happens, it's how you react to it. You know, yeah, poor me, my back is shot from being in the military. But I can still walk. I know people that are in wheelchairs. I'm still able to get around and ride my motorcycle. You know, I work 10-hour days, but at least I have the ability to work. There were times where I was begging to make 20 hours in a week. You know, now they shut me off when I make 40. You know, and when these things happen, I mean, I'm blessed enough to have other options. I'm blessed enough to have a bike that I can ride back and forth to work, you know, and a car that's still going. I'm blessed enough to have a house to come home to, and I'm not blind to those things. I'm blessed enough to still be thinking about being actually retired by the time I'm 50. Like, traveling the country when I want to travel the country. And I know a lot of people that are not able to do that. And yeah, part of it is me being blessed, but part of it is the sacrifices I made. You know, I made a lot of sacrifices to be able to have the things I have and do the things I do. You know, I have the nicer bikes because I drive an 06 Ford Focus and an 05 H3 Hummer and, you know, a 90 Ranger or 97 Ranger. You know, and none of my cars are new cars. You know, my house is almost paid off because I bought a house. Instead of going out and buying a new Mustang or buying this nice new thing or this, that, and the other, I took part of my signing bonus and my money from when I was deployed overseas that I saved up, and I put a down payment and bought a house. So I've been paying on a house since I was 23 years old, I think. 22 years old, and I'm 42 now. You know, those were the blessings that, you know, that I get from the sacrifices I made. So, and, you know, those are the things that I prepared for. I say this a lot when people start talking about poor me and poor this and poor that, you know, and oh, this is always happening, it's always someone else's fault. Man, like, yeah, you're right. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it pours. But you can bring an umbrella. And if you have someone that is constantly someone else's fault, it's never their fault, they're never taking responsibility for anything, that person's never going to grow. You know, that person's going to be in a bad mental space, that person's going to be negative. And a lot of people want to stay that way. They get attention because of it. I'm not one of those people. You know, I'm going to figure out a way to have a good time. Even through my depression. You know, I'm going to hang in there until life gets better. You know, part of that is I just refuse to give up, and it's hard to beat someone when they refuse to give up. Part of it is I have a daughter, and so I'm not allowed to give up. So I won't. So don't give up, guys. Like, I'll talk about that a lot, and I'm sure some of y'all are already getting tired of hearing me be positive and preaching this, but man, I'll say it as many times as I think I need to. You know, especially to the guys. You know, yeah, maybe you're the same boat as me. Maybe you've been single for a while. Maybe you work too much. You know, it'll happen. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen. The right person will come along. You know, so hang in there. It's worth it, I promise. You know, my happiest days were when I was married. I never wanted to be single. I don't like being a bachelor. It's dumb. I hate dating. You know, I hate this idea of the same questions where it feels like it's just a job interview. You know, oh, you have a job. What do you make? Like, come on. Oh, you ride motorcycles. Oh, you do this. What do you like to do for fun? What do you do? You know, what's your love language? You know, dating apps don't work when you're short. I've learned that. When you're 5'6", dating apps don't work. You know, I have learned that one. So, and it sucks. It sucks to be automatically disqualified from a height perspective, but hey, I get it. You know, I won't date morbidly obese women. I don't find them attractive. I'm sorry. Call me an asshole. I just don't. You know. And I believe 90% of obese people in this country are, you know, it's not hereditary, it's not genetics, it's not this, that, and the other. It's just a simple fact of you eat too much. And it's coming from someone that was 5'6" and 280 pounds. You know, and I got on a carnivore diet. I'm 190 pounds. My daughter's gone from the summer. We're about to hammer this out again. I'm going to try to drop down to 170 pounds. You know, and dieting, a lot of people overthink dieting. Dieting's simple. If you are not in a calorie deficit, you will not lose weight. I don't care if you're eating 500 calories extra of bok choy and broccoli or 500 calories extra of Twinkies. You gain weight. And vice versa. If you have 500 calories, if you're in a 500 calorie deficit and it's Twinkies and junk foods, you'll lose weight. So I see people do that. They make the mistake. They get on these carnivore diets, the other diet. I didn't lose any weight. And then I'm looking at what they're eating and I'm like, yeah, you know, for breakfast you had 7 eggs and 4 pieces of bacon. Lunch you ate 4 burger patties. And dinner you had a pound of steak. You're not going to lose weight. You know, and if you're older and your metabolism's shot and you think the shot is the only way to do it, I'm not going to judge you. I was on the shot for a little bit. I lost 40 pounds off of it. Out of the 100 pounds I lost, 40 of it came from a shot. I needed that kick. Now, I stayed on the lowest dosage possible, and The person giving me the meds said, I've never seen anyone stay this low. Don't you get hungry? I said, yeah, I get hungry, but I don't, you know, I don't need it to knock it all out. I got enough willpower that if I'm a little hungry, I can still deal with it. And it helped me change my diet, and it made my life easier, and I have a lot more energy. I feel a lot healthier. The one thing it did not help was my back. I think because now I can move around and shift a little more in it, and I tend to be more active. My back hurts a little bit, but it is what it is. And when I say my back, it's actually the sciatic nerve running all the way down my leg that hurts. There are times where, you know, the pinky toe and the toe next to it feels like it's hanging out of a sock because it's gone numb. There are times where it feels asleep. There was one time it felt like it was asleep for 7 months. So, you know, it is what it is. But what do? I can sit on a couch and play video games all day, cry about it, lose everything I worked for, or I can get up and I can go to work and be able to enjoy my life a little. So that's what I do. And you'll hear me say that, the video game thing, and I do enjoy playing video games. I play a lot of Stardew Valley. I play, you know, Midnight Racing. I play, or One Gone Midnight. I play, you know, stuff like that, Monster Hunter. I love my VR system. I play these games. They're fun. It's just not my main hobby. But if that's your main hobby and that's what makes you happy, you know, and you're still getting out and getting some exercise and getting some sunlight, man, like, there ain't nothing wrong with a hobby. It is no more fair for me to judge someone on a hobby that they enjoyed than, you know, it is for them to judge me on liking to ride motorcycles. So, just know I'm not picking at y'all. Like, I'm really not. You know, when I say I love y'all, I mean it. I really mean it. I'm trying to put as much positivity out there. I love y'all. I'm really hoping your lives are wonderful. This one's a little bit longer. I'm sorry it's a little bit longer. But, you know, one day I'll get back to figuring out what I want to talk about before I start talking, and I'll stop rambling. But we are coming to the end of it, so I am going to call it quits for the night. But I mean it, guys. I love you. I love all of y'all. I hope all of y'all end up happy, whatever that happiness is. A frog. Whatever that happiness is for you. And remember, guys, life's an adventure. So you got to get out there and live it. Bye.